I realized I never did a 101 video talking about glares. Now, this video is going to break it down for you. If you want to look in the description for the time skip, go ahead. Before you watch this video though, if you are new to affixing or if you want to understand this particular video, you may want to watch my Affixing 101 playlist above my head or in the description. To understand this video though, there are 3 videos. 2 of them you can briefly watch, the other one you may want to watch a bit thoroughly. The first one is the stacking ability video. This will allow you to understand how to approach this and why numbers are at a certain percent. Second one will be the catalyst video because I will mention catalysts. Third one is pretty much the receptor and understanding what a receptor can do. With that being said, let's get started. With the glare abilities, they are introduced in episode 6. You'll find a good chunk of them here and there, and most of these glare abilities emphasize on a good chunk of stats, especially in the defense. So you got certain glares, you got Photoner, and then Absolute, and then you got the Glare Catalyst, and then all these other ones. If you're not familiar with what they look like and who they are, you can look in the description for the Arks Visiphone, and you can click on the Photoner section and see their picture and their name. But yeah, most of these will vary. The big ones that people tend to go for are pretty much Shiva, Metra, Varuna, I think. Yeah, because they have certain attack types with it. Don't get me wrong, the other ones have attack types, but it's not as much. And some of these strictly emphasize on a bunch of defense as well. Depends on which one you want to go for. Now, when it comes to the glare abilities, you just need one. Like, if I only have one of these, guess what? This is transferable at a 30%. That is good to know. Most abilities or some abilities actually require 2 or 3 for it to, well, specifically 2 for it to work, but sometimes 3. Rarely 3. Now when it comes to anti-glare, you can see that if I have 2 of these, it pushes it to a 50%. Now if I go beyond 2, it's gonna be a waste because it's not gonna increase that percent any further. So 2 is your magic number for these glares. It's not 3, it's 2. However, to push this a bit further, you would want to use divine abilities. Now, the big thing about divine abilities that you have to know, and most likely I'll do a quick video emphasizing on it, divine abilities are not on units, they are on weapons. So you can actually get a boost in this if you decide to try to tour around with glares on a weapon. So if I want to increase this chance a bit further, guess what? Divine abilities can do that. Now note that divine receptor will not be able to do anything. So if I take out the will, you see divine receptors by itself. Yeah, no, it's not going to increase anything. So don't use the divine receptor. Use the divine will, and if you use divine will, it's getting increased by a good 20% because this is 50 plus 20. Or do 70 minus 50, and then 20 is the remainder, which means that divine will increased it by 20. If I take one of these glares out, you can see that instead of being at 30%, it is now at a 50%. However, there is a difference between will and order, apparently. If I decide to use order, guess what? That boosted by an additional 10%, so instead of 20, it is 30%. So that anti-glare by itself at 30% is increased further by another 30%, which makes it 60%. If I move the anti-glare and get another one, and have 2 anti-glares present, guess what? That's already at 50% with a divine order. It's at 30%. It adds a 30%, which is now 80%. This is where I go a bit technical and talk about these 2 particular abilities and why you will want to use will more than order. Order has a lot of stats, as you can see over on the left column over there. It is giving you a whopping plus 50 in SRT attack, plus 20 in HP, plus 10 PP. And you can see there is a divine receptor. Now, this particular receptor does not drop normally. You will have to get it behind scratches. AC, support, item scratches, or starters. I don't remember which one specifically. But it is behind a support item scratch. So, because of that alone, it has a lot more appeal than divine will. Divine Will gives you a whopping plus 20 in SRT attack and then plus 5 in PP. I will make a short video emphasizing this again and talk about how you can manipulate it, but that is it. Note that divine abilities are not on units. The only way you can try to put a divine ability on a unit is if you have an add support item. But that is it when it comes to you increasing these chances. And also, just to give you a heads up, you can also do the same thing with Phontere Glare. Phontere Glare is a bit important due to the fact that it is required to get an absolute glare. But guess what? Because it's a regular glare type, after you make it, you can see that it's at a whopping, what, 50%. If I decide to put this, it still follows that rule as well. Now, let us talk about the catalyst, because I will most likely forget about it. This is important to note because when it comes to glare catalyst, unlike the other catalyst type, let me actually type up the name, even though you stack 2 of these or even 3 of these, it will not be able to transfer. Unlike the other glare types, ether, factor, and reverie, if I decide to use reverie for example, you see that if I have 2 of them in my formula, it will show up and transfer at 10%. 3 of them is 30, any more than that, it's still at 30. But once again, glare catalyst does not do that. The only way to try to transfer this for now, they might fix it later, but for now, the only way to try to transfer this is if you have a receptor. But they're not cheap, and you see that you can select the glare catalyst at 100%. Now you might be saying, how do I go about making a glare catalyst? Well, this is where we talk about these particular glares. So, when it comes to these glares, you will need Vlog, you would need Ford, you would need Exacore. These other 4, Origin, Shiva, Varuna, Metra, you can ignore them if you're trying to make a glare catalyst. The big thing is you either need an Angie or Dominius, and this is why you would want to farm a lot of Armada, or at least pop a lot of Scarlet runs triggers, because yeah, you would want a good chunk of these. Now, if I wanted to, I can swap that Angie to Dominius. I just need either one of these two. You do not need to have both of them. As you can see, if I just take that out, yeah, I can't make a glare catalyst. You need to choose one of these two. So it's going to be Angie or Dominius. Everything else you will need. So you would need Exacore, you would need Ford, you need Vlog. So if I were to take that out and put Angie, you can see that the option for a glare catalyst isn't popping up. So I would need to put that back in. But yeah, that's how you make your glare catalyst. You use Dominius or Angie, either one of those two, Exacore, Ford, and then Vlog. And then you get 10% making of a glare catalyst. Now when it comes to the Phontere Glare, it's going to be Metra, Varuna, Shiva, and Origin. And it's going to be out of 10%. And then, guess what? Once you make these abilities, you have 1 Phontere Glare, glare catalyst, 4 glare catalyst. You can make absolute glare. It's going to be out at 60%. Use the 40%. Boom. It's at 100. I already made a video talking about that. You don't need to watch it because I just covered it in this one. But that is it for this video. So if you have any questions, comment, concerns, put it down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.